I just jotted some ideas down to like what I think of when I think of goals. For me, just like to put it on paper and to be able to visualize is huge. Not only for me visualizing just on the field, like whether that's seeing video or whatnot, but visualizing like on a piece of paper can actually change how we think of things, right? To be able to look back and edit goals, I think is also huge. To be just like write it down and visualize it. I think it's a great tool to have because maybe sometimes, we get injured, right? That might make us to have to go back to our goals that we have, look back at them, and maybe we'll have to change some different things. I think it allows you to keep yourself in check as far as we all grow at a different pace at different times, whether that's skill or whether that's your physical size or whether that's whatever it could be. It's just a good way to keep yourself in check. And the last thing here is to think about what you really want. I think you can write down goals sometimes, but then you go a few weeks here and there and you like look back at them, you're like, ooh, maybe that's not like really how far I wanted to like go in like that short-term specific goal, right? So maybe it really allows you to realize what strengths and what attributes you bring to the game and allows you to go back and accelerate those or maybe slow some things down. I just put this together. I would challenge you to do something like this if you want. I just thought it would be a good visual diagram because I put the short-term goals here and then the long-term goals on the right. But also I did how we talked about earlier to have some specific goals, but also some broad goals as well, okay? So these are just some examples. We'll start with the short specific here. That can be, this is an example, maybe you're dedicating so many hours per week outside of your soccer practice, right? So that's very specific. I'm going to dedicate 1 hour extra each week, right? But that's a short-term goal. So I'm going to get better in this area by giving an hour extra each week. Or maybe the second one is I'm going to stretch after every training, right? So it's very specific. I'm going to do these stretching exercises to get better with my flexibility over time. But specifically stretching this kind of muscle. Or another example I have here is your day-to-day 100% effort. This is very specific, but short-term. Like if you give your 100% every single practice, I know that's not always possible, but at least having the effort or idea to give 100% each time may be able to change your broad long-term goals. We're just looking at this broad long-term category. Like that goes as far as, okay, like, do I want to go to college and do I want to pursue soccer at college or do I want to go pro? Or maybe looking more like goalkeeping wise, oh, I want to be the best shot stopper in the game or whatever that goal is. These are literally just examples. And then we can look at these broad short. That can be with your club, with your team. Oh, I want to be a starter or I want to make impact with this area or maybe, okay, speed and agility. I can, in a short term, make a good goal with speed and agility, but it's kind of broad. Speed and agility can have a lot of different attributes. And then our last little square here, I put, it's in your specific, but it's very long term. Okay, so maybe that's specific, your distribution, but let's specific do like goal kicks. But in the long term, I really want to improve my distance of that. Okay, so this is literally just a few examples